What if the reason you keep facing rejection has nothing to do with your looks, your status, or what you say, and everything to do with what you never ask? Most men approach intimacy like a destination. Women experience it like a journey. And the men who understand that one difference stop getting rejected almost entirely. I'm going to show you exactly how. Stay with me. Here is what most men fundamentally misunderstand about women and intimacy. They treat it like a door that is either open or closed. She is either interested or she is not. So they push or they give up. But a mature woman does not operate in those two extremes. Her openness to intimacy is not a fixed state. It is a feeling that builds or dissolves based entirely on how emotionally safe and genuinely understood she feels in your presence. And the fastest, most powerful way to build that feeling is not through what you tell her. It is through what you ask her. The right questions do something almost invisible. They make her feel seen, valued, and deeply understood. And a woman who feels that way around you starts associating you with something rare, something she wants more of. Let me show you what that actually looks like. The first category of questions targets her inner world, not her biography. Most men ask surface questions. What do you do? Where are you from? Have you been here before? These questions gather information. They do not create connection. The questions that actually build intimacy go one layer deeper, not in an intrusive way, in a genuinely curious way. Questions like, what is something you used to believe about yourself that you no longer think is true? Or, what is something most people get wrong about you? These questions do something immediate and powerful. They signal that you are interested in who she actually is, not just who she appears to be. And for a woman who spends most of her interactions being seen on a surface level, that signal is quietly electrifying. Try this in your next conversation and watch what happens to her energy. Then come back and tell me in the comments. I genuinely want to hear what shifted. The second category uses what psychology calls reflective tension. This is where dark psychology principles intersect with genuine emotional intelligence. Reflective tension is created when a question invites a woman to explore something unresolved in herself. A desire, a contradiction, a feeling she has not fully named yet. Questions like, what is something you want more of in your life right now that you rarely talk about? Or, when do you feel most like yourself? And how often does that actually happen? These are not manipulative questions. They are deeply human ones. But their effect is profound because most people go their entire lives without being asked them. When you ask them naturally, without agenda, without immediately relating it back to yourself, she opens, not because of a trick, because you created a space that almost no one else ever creates for her. Now, here is where the psychology gets genuinely interesting. The questions themselves are only half the equation. The other half is what you do after she answers. Most men listen just enough to respond. A man who creates real intimacy listens to understand and then reflects back what he heard at a slightly deeper level than she expressed it. If she says she feels most like herself when she is traveling alone, you do not say, "Great, I love traveling too." You say, "It sounds like solitude gives you something that most of your daily life does not." Is that right? That reflection does something neurologically. Her brain registers that she was truly heard. And being truly heard by a calm, grounded, confident man is one of the most intimate experiences a woman can have long before anything physical ever enters the picture. Which matters more to you in a conversation, being interesting or being genuinely interested? Answer honestly in the comments. The third category is what I call permission questions, and these are the most underestimated of all. A permission question is one that invites her to go deeper without pressure. Things like, "Can I ask you something a little more personal?" Or, "I want to understand this better if you are comfortable sharing." These questions do two things simultaneously. They demonstrate respect, which builds safety, and they create a micro moment of choice for her, which builds investment. When she says yes, she has actively chosen to go deeper with you. That choice matters psychologically. She is no longer just responding to you. She is participating with you. And participation is the beginning of real intimacy. Here is the thread that connects all of this. Emotional safety, genuine curiosity, deep listening, and respectful invitation are not techniques layered onto an interaction. They are the interaction. The dark psychology element here is simply this. Most people are so starved for genuine connection that when a man provides it with confidence and calm, the effect feels almost magnetic. She cannot fully explain why she feels drawn to you, but she does, and she will keep coming back to that feeling. That is not manipulation, that is mastery. If this gave you a real shift in how you think about connection and intimacy, subscribe to this channel. This is where men come to build the kind of depth and confidence that changes their relationships from the inside out. Leave a comment. Share this with someone who needs it.